And the event is all about helping accounting firms such as yours understand how it will benefit you with AI and automation. So, who am I and what am I doing here? My name is Benjamin. I run a fintech startup called MyKicksters. We are a 12-member team that's based out of Melbourne and Adelaide. We support accounting firms such as yours across the country in helping them serve individual clients like sole traders, ABN, and single person ACN. We help them serve them better using AI and automation. I'll tell more about our business at the very end, but this is about introducing the new world of AI and automation to accounting practices. You may have come across this before, you may have not. This could be a bit of a refresher, but for many, it could be a new way to think about how to make your business much more efficient. So, what are we going to talk about today is pretty much, the topic of the topic of the the decade that we are in, which is AI and automation. Um, I wanted to first go and understand where you are right now in your journey of AI and automation, so that we can better tweak this presentation and then help derive more value out of it. So here's what I want you to do. Pick up a smartphone or click the link that I will just put on the chat, and it'll take you to this Slido where you will be asked to provide some responses to the questions. So give me a second. I will share that screen right away now. All right. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. The link to this particular is copy link, joining link. So I'm just going to put that on the chat. So if anyone wants to join via desktop, you can simply click on the chat and then you should be able to see it. Give me a second. Ishani, can you post this on the chat? I'm trying hard. I'm unable to post it to everyone.
Sure, Benji.
Yeah. All right. If you're all ready, we'll get started. And hopefully this is something that you've always come across. So essentially, if you click the link, it'll ask you to provide this code. And if you hit it, you'll enter the same site. If not, you can use your smartphone, scan it, and then you'll enter the same site. So it's pretty straightforward. I'll give another 10 seconds for those who haven't got the chance to jump on board. And if you're having difficulty to get in, please drop a message and one of my team members will be able to help you out. All right, we'll get started. I just want to quickly understand which state are you joining us from? I'm from Adelaide, and if you're joining in from Wake, New South Wales, good, Queensland. No one from Adelaide? That's me. I can't answer it, but excellent. Beautiful. So we've got a good coverage of people from different places. In Adelaide, yes, thank you. One participant more from Vic. Thank you. All right. The next one is about understanding, do you currently use AI and automation in your business? We can say, yes, I'm using, no, I don't want to, or yes, I would like to. A bit of an understanding of where you are in this journey. Excellent. You're using. Now, this kept this question pretty easy. If you haven't started using AI, you're probably missing out. But nobody has said, no, I don't want to, which is a good sign. If you had said that, you're probably in the wrong webinar. So it's good. All right. So it looks like half of you have some degree of exposure to AI and automation, and half of us would like to know more about it. Good. Next question is, what is the biggest challenge right now? Because we don't want to go and do many things, though we can do. But what is the right now? What's the biggest challenge in your business? Is it about finding staff or getting more new customers? Is it about keeping up with ATO regulations or scaling your business or making better margin? What is your biggest challenge right now? Got it. As one more participant ranking. Ooh, good. So scaling the business is number one. Oh, there's one more person. Maybe I should wait. Okay. I think it's all good. Okay, so scaling the business is the biggest challenge in the room right now, and making better margins comes second, and keeping up with ATO is the third, and not sure, maybe a little bit of finding staff and acquire new business. Okay, so looks like we've got the customers in. We just have to understand how to serve them better, getting better margins out of them, and also understand how we could scale the business, basically moving into the new zones and providing more services. Great. Thank you so much. And that gives us a bit of a pulse check on who's in the room and what we are after. And I'm glad that half of us has already started using AI to some degree. And we're also knowing what AI could be useful for, and this is exactly about scaling businesses and making better margins. So you're spot on, you're on the right webinar. So that's good. So let's get on back into the deck. And I want to walk you through a couple of things. So what I'm going to do in the next 15 minutes is give you a bit of an introduction into AI and automation. I'm not going to take a huge lecture on it. There's a lot of information already in Google and in the Internet of Things. So my job is to give you the one-liner about it and also give you an introduction into the tools that you can immediately start using right after this webinar that will help immediately impact your business. So I'm going to do a quick demo of some of the tools. I won't walk into the details because we don't have much time. But at the end of it, I'm also going to showcase how do you actually 10x your business. So stay tuned. We will jump back into my deck in a second. Just going to stop share and all right. So one of the biggest questions that I always been asked, this is it's a bit book textbook answer, but it's also a question that I want us to also quickly, get the response for is what is automation? Like, what are we talking about? It is simply a repetitive process. It's a process that has been done with currently done with manual task or human intervention. So you basically use technology to perform that task with minimum human intervention, such as data entry or report generation. Automation is not a new concept. Automation has always existed in the last 50 years. It wasn't really available for end consumers or to software providers or to service providers. There's been automations in manufacturing, productions, in a lot of other sectors. And now automation has been made more embedded, more available, and more consumer driven. So the concept of automation is all about making a task that is repetitive and be able to do that again and again and make sure that the outcome is still the same. So it's almost like the cookie cutter that you find in the factories. So you design the cookie cutter and you tell the cookie cutter how it should cut the cookie and what design it should be, and it does the job for you. But from an accounting perspective, I think you have to understand why it is important right now than 2-3 years back or 5 years back. Why it is super important right now than anything else before. And also that's The key is there's been enough studies by all the big four consulting companies, by a lot of statistics reports that there is a big shift, especially in the accounting space, when it comes to digital transformation. So if you are an accountant who still handles client information on WhatsApp, email, Excel spreadsheets, and then you're still trying to do that manually, you're probably going to lose the race very soon, because a lot of accounting practices are being digitized regardless of the scale, whether you're a one-member team or you're a 10-member team or a 100-member team. The access to these tools are available, and it's up to you to pick it up. There's been reports saying that accountants can save up to 2,000 hours of just by using automation. 86% of their time is already spent on manual tasks, which is not surprising because I have an accountant that does my accounting. And at MyGeeksters, we partner with roughly 25 different accounting firms across Australia. And when we met them at the early days, we knew that a lot of their practices were currently done manually. And that was the style of how the business was doing. It's not that they choose to it, it's just how the customer relationship was. And it was also prone to more human error because you're handling different information, you're handling copies of data, you're handling Excel spreadsheets in best, you're handling some level of tools. Now, this is becoming harder for accountants who serve individual customers. Now, there are customers like small and medium businesses where the accountant refers them to use an accounting tool like Xero or QuickBooks or MyOb, and then they use that tool to keep their books in order, and that kind of helps the accountant because it's now digitized. It's not bank statements anymore. But then from a individual cohort perspective, like if I'm a TFN, ABN, I'm an Uber driver, and I do side gigs and a day job, and I come 9 out of 10 times, I don't have an accounting tool. I'm not interested to sign for an accounting tool. And I often come with a bank statement to your office quite late. And then you do the biggest work for me, which is reconciling, categorization, verification, and then you lodge it for me. And often I don't pay a lot of money as the businesses do. So it's harder for accounting firms who serve the individual cohort. It is slightly easier for accountants who serve SMB, small and medium enterprises. Within the accounting world, we call something as the RPA, which is kind of the like a nuance of automation. We call it as robotic process automation. Robotic process automation is basically you train a robot, basically your program, that allows you to go and do the sequence of step again and again with some instructions. So that's called a robotic process automation. We will show you a bit of what tools that are there, but there are some benefits to having robotic process automation. The report says that the biggest benefits that accountants get is productivity. Biggest benefit that they get is productivity, and what that means is they save time on working on things that they don't have to do, or their team doesn't have to do, and now they've got systems in place that will do it for them. It doesn't only mean about service delivery. It could mean customer relationship. It could be following up with the customer to telling them their BASes are due. It could be about writing a blog post and putting it on your website. It could be creating social media content. It could be creating reports. It could be doing audits. Could be any of these parts in your process. As long as it's one of the biggest benefits that accountants have seen is it saves them time so that they can then invest that time into high-end clients or high value generation activity or high ticket services where they are more interested to do. The last time I ran this webinar, one of the questions that I asked the accountants in the room was, as an accountant, what do you love to do? And I had a couple of options. Do you like to do bookkeeping? Do you like to do accounting, as in just put numbers together and lodge? Or do you like to help businesses grow by understanding the financials of the business and guide the business owner and the individual in helping them make better decisions? And you wouldn't believe, like 90% of them actually wanted to do more advisory level of work and not do basic accounting or bookkeeping kind of work, which makes sense. Many of the accountants are highly trained professionals. They go through rigorous training, certifications, and licensing, and that gives you immense knowledge and expertise, but quite often that expertise are spent across doing tasks that doesn't need to be done by humans anymore in a way. So as we now understand automation, right? But it's also good to understand the difference between AI and automation. So obviously you would have heard ChatGPT and this and that. So there's no feed you can see without AI happening. But there is a subtle difference. There's a difference between AI and automation. So what is it? AI is about decision making. So AI is built on machine learning. Basically, it is built on information that you have fed and you've told it to learn on that information, and giving it a persona, and you've told it to learn on that information repeatedly. And over time, it learns about that information and helps you make decisions. So you could ask AI, what is 2 plus 2? It will say 4. Because you have trained AI to understand 2 plus 2 is 4. So that's AI. But automation is not a decision maker. Automation is where you do repetitive task, where you focus on making a task that is repetitive and then you do it again and again. Now we live in a world where AI and automation are together. So you could actually use the power of both, and use it in your own business and use it in your own practice. So here's a couple of things that we're going to go look at, right? And now it's time to get hands-on with a few tools, and understand what is out there that as an accountant you can go try out today. First thing, let's look at some automation tools. There's obviously popular one like Zapier. If you haven't heard Zapier, it's a popular one. It's pretty expensive also, but I've also listed Make and N88. There are other tools out there. Now, I want to quickly take a step and say these tools doesn't require any software coding knowledge. This doesn't require a technical expertise. It doesn't require you to know how to program anything. It is very simple, drag and drop. Anybody who knows what the process is, like the business process, can easily implement it. And in fact, there are enough libraries out there for you to pretty much use a template and don't have to do it yourself. Allow me to show you a quick demo of Make, which is one of the most user-friendly plugins or user-friendly platforms out there. Just give me a second. All right. Hold on. I'm sharing something else. Give me a second. All right, share. So Make. Where is Make? Did I get Make? Thought I had Make opened. Looks like not. Okay. We will get Make open, and I will walk you through what it is. So log in. It's actually free to create an account. You don't have to pay anything. As a free tier, you can use a free tier. Okay, let me sign up for free. My Gigsters, hosting EU. Okay, I was supposed to change it, but missed it. I'm just I don't know, who am I? I'm a founder. And I just want to do a small, social media is my expert. I have no experience, a small team. I would like to do, I don't know, I got this from LinkedIn. Okay, please show me what it is. So Make is basically a drag and drop automation tool. It helps you to create automation within your business using the tools that you already use in your business. For example, Google Sheets, Xero, Word documents, your own websites, WordPress. So it's got like over 600 apps that you can integrate and create a workflow. And it's easy where you can just add one app and trigger an action on the other app. Now, this might look scary at the start. The best way to get started is go and look at templates. And let's say, as an accounting practice, you always wanted to do blog articles. So then type blog. Let's say blog. Okay, so here's one. Automate posting from blog to social media with the ChatGPT. or add new incoming emails to a spreadsheet as a new row. Maybe that's not good. We'll do this. Yeah. Obviously, I'm not going to show you how it's done, but um, I just want to show you how easy it is. It's a very drag and drop style. You can simply go, if you got a WordPress, just connect the WordPress, tell exactly what blog it will read, give ChatGPT an instruction. So you connect your ChatGPT, give it an instruction, it'll automatically take the text and then push it to whichever places you want. And if you don't want something, you just hit delete and it'll go away. And then you can add more. You can add more routes. You can edit more information. It won't take you more than 30-40 minutes to do one customization, and you can let it run and see how it works for your business. Um, this one is free to use. I think the first 2,000 events per month is free. So pretty much for anyone who's got a small team and wants to just do like 5 blog posts a month or something like that, pretty easy. You don't have to spend any time, and it does it on its own. So this is one tool. There are other tools like Zapier and N88, but I would highly recommend you taking some time to go play with these tools. Spends half an hour or 40 minutes, go play with these tools. This is pretty straightforward. No need of any coding. It is easy for anyone to anyone to do this. And there's a lot of templates that you can just grab, so that you're not just restricted to create your own. There are hundreds of templates that you can just pick one and then edit it and use it for your own business. Many of them are targeted towards customer relationship, data entry, form generation, report generation, and things like that. So yeah, feel free to use it, and I'm sure it will be very helpful. The next I have is basically AI tools. Now, in AI tools, we have a couple of AI tools that is already popular. We have ChatGPT, which everybody knows. We have Claude, which probably not very know. Many people know, and we got Perplexity, which is also another AI tool. But I want to take a quick second to show you how you can use a chatbot to help your business. So in chatbot, you can just basically go and chat. Or you can go create a new chatbot. So I want to create a new chatbot. I want to say this as the ATO guide, and then create a description, tax accounting guide, and then give it an instruction. You are an expert accountant who has immense experience in handling tax accounting for individuals and companies. You are tasked to read recent tax guidelines, regulations, and code of practices, and to also release and provide training to staff members in your team. So I'm just making a simple prompt. There's different ways to write a prompt. And all I do is I go and upload one of the ATO guidelines. And then what it does, it automatically then starts, you can have a chat. You can start having a chat with that document. It's a good way to put all of your knowledge bases. So let's say you're a company, you've got standard operating procedures, or you have team members that are joining, and you want them to always know about the ATO regulations or the code of practice, or what is the guidelines of doing services. You can pretty much create a chatbot, add these files in, give their instructions, and then you can give this to your team members so that they can have a chat with the system, and they can also learn new things. And you can also go and verify, hey, how do I do this or do I do that? I'll see if I can download a tax regulation document. ATO regulations for tax agents. Let's see if there is a PDF right up there. Somebody should have a PDF. There you go. I don't know if this is the recent one, but let me download this. And I'm going to go back into ChatGPT, upload the file. I just want a web browser is okay. Okay, I'm ready to chat with it right now. Create. You can share it with me or anyone. Let me actually share it with anyone. The reason why I'm showing a quick demo is to obviously tell you how easy it is to do for for a dumb person like me. But I just wanted to tell you there are tools where you don't have to spend a lot of money and time. What is the requirement as a tax agent? I don't know. It's a dumb question. I don't know if there is a requirement. Okay, there you go. I wanted to understand what is the minimum experience required? Experience required. So this is a quick demonstration on how you could, instead of going through that whole, I don't know how many pages this document was, 15 pages. Instead of going through 15 pages of document, we've just created a short plugin that can help me and my team understand some questions around that particular piece of legislation. And you can build this knowledge base by adding more regulations, more code of practice, or you could train them on your business practice. You can train them on the rules of your business. You can train them on standard operating procedures. You can train them on anything that you can provide. You can also train them on data and help them understand, then help do data analytics for you. Cool. So that's a bit of a showcase on AI and automation. And I think one of the things that we have done over the last 10 months is understand and talk to a lot of accountants such as yours in what are the key problems they face. And I wanted to share a story. I want to share a story of how we ended up meeting one of the accountants just like yours, and what position they were, and how did we end up helping them. So obviously I've removed the names of the right person. So we met this accounting firm, let's say James from Melbourne, a growing accounting practice, and this is kind of the current state of that business was when we met them. They had roughly around 500 plus individual clients. Many of them were individual tax returns and GST and BAS, like ABN sole traders, and mixed between TFN, ABN, and single person ACN. But they are also a relatively new business. They've been in operation only for a couple of years, but over the last few years, they've been growing really rapidly in the individual clientele base, sole traders and individual clients. And in the last year, they've been starting to grow their practice into business clients or accounting clients. And they want more of these clients, obviously, because they get more predictable revenue. It's a higher ticket service, and they can do a lot of upsell and cross sell, and that gives them more leverage and more margins. Small team, got two bookkeepers in the team, and looking to expand the team, but that's where they are. So when we met them, they were a good business, really good business, good clientele, good service, good team, and they want to grow. A bit like how the kind of the challenge that you all had today was scaling a business. They had a very similar challenge. But before looking at scaling the business, we wanted to understand what is happening currently. What is some of their key problems that they currently face? One of the key problems that they currently face was margins. They don't make much margins on the customers that they serve, especially when it comes to individual clients, where they had a lot of individual clients who were giving them around $500 per year. Whether it's tax lodgement or GST lodgements, together $500. And they spent roughly around 8 hours to verify and lodge these work in a year. And by doing that, they already spent a lot of time and money and effort, and that only leaves them with a very less margin for these customers. And this bothered them. It is a physically and mentally tiring for them and their team. But also, even though they had a lot of volume, they made less money out of those clientele. So that was the number one problem. And what was also happening is when the tax season started, I think it was July, all of a sudden, one of their bookkeepers left. And this happens in the accounting world where one accounting firm poaches the other accounting firm's team members. And constantly there is attrition in the industry. And not just that, they were also losing clients to other companies like Henry. I don't know if you've heard about Henry. They are a automation company or a fintech company that does sole trader taxes. So suddenly they started losing customers. They started losing team members, and now James was behind all the dislodgements. I believe at one point James I think he was just clocking in hours and hours of work because his name was on the board. Every customer had him as the point of contact because they obviously built a relationship with him. And all of his service that he has built over the last 3 years was started to crumble because he didn't have the right resources, the right systems to be able to process these things at scale while being competitive. And we said, okay, this seems to be actually a bigger problem. But what is the problem in terms of the process? Now, let's say I come to one of you today, and I say, "Hey, I'm Benji. I do 9 to 5 work, and I've got a freelancer job that I do on the weekends, and I earn $120,000 per year. Please help me with tax lodgement and GST." And this is what you would do normally with me. You would basically ask some information about me to check whether I am who I am. You probably give me an engagement letter to basically tell I accept your engagement. And you'll collect this information, and you probably give me a quote. Or I charge you $300 for this, $200 for this, or whatever your charges are. And I kind of agree to your charges and say, okay, thank you, let's proceed. Now you will collect my financials. Now, quite often I won't have an accounting tool. If I have an accounting tool, that would be great. You would recommend me to have an accounting tool because that makes your life easier. But I, as a sole trader, probably not. I probably have an Excel spreadsheet in best cases. Most times I'm going to walk into your office with a bank statement and a few receipts. Now you and your team is going to do all the bookkeeping. You're going to ask me some questions back and forth. You're going to verify that information. You're going to make sure they've got the receipts in place, the evidence in place, to make sure that whatever I'm claiming or whatever I'm calling as an expense, as an income, is correct and been accurate. And I believe most of that work will be done by your team because if you ask me, I don't know. And that's the biggest activity that your team would undertake in basically reconciling categorization of my income and expenses so that I could be in a lodgement ready state. Then you would be ready to lodge it to the ATO. And after you lodge it to the ATO, keep a record of that file so that even as an audit purpose, you can always go back and refer to it. Once after this activity is done, either before lodgement or after lodgement, you'll send me an invoice and I will pay you, and that's happy service. However, this service takes a lot of time and back and forth, and there are so many things in this service that currently done manually that doesn't need to be done manually anymore. So this is where MyGeeksters, we came and helped basically James with our platform, and our platform is a completely automated practice management system. And what we did was we basically helped him onboard his customers, did ID verification automatically, created contracts and got that digitally signed, created quotes and invoices automatically based on the services they were providing, and also did the bookkeeping automatically, which I will tell you in a second how we did that. Also giving them the ability to automatically follow up with customers, create a repository for keeping records, and have a small communication window for them to chat with their customers. And at the end of it, they had a ready to lodge data that they can simply just copy paste to the ATO or to a lodgement software and then get the job done. So what we did was essentially taking a process that was manual for James and then turning it into almost 80% automated so that they don't have to spend much time. Now, ours was not just a practice management system, it was also a built-in AI-driven accounting tool. So we actually helped James have two products. A product with one end, they can give it to their clients as an accounting product, put his own logo, sell it as his own accounting software, and that does the bookkeeping automatically. And then on the other end, have a practice management system for his team to automatically offer the services via the practice management system. So it's two systems connected together with a client-facing accounting product and a team member-facing practice management system. Now the core of the system is built on AI and automation. So what we have done is we built an automation layer that automatically goes and reads the bank transaction through open banking, and it picks the expenses that are potentially deductible for that particular user. So let's say me, Benji, I'm an Uber driver and I'm your client. And I come to your accounting software and I connect my bank to open banking, and your platform, which is run by our algorithm, will automatically go and find the potential tax deductions for me as a Uber driver. All I have to do is come and say, I agree this as a business expense, I agree this is a personal expense. And once that is done, um, all of that is consolidated to an ready to lodge report, and you are able to do invoice contracts, all of that in one place. Not just that, we took this stand because we figured out that accountants would like to have a system in place that is not only efficient to offer services to customer, but also give an opportunity for accountants to upsell their service to a customer. When we looked at the clientele that the accountants were serving, especially the individual cohort, pretty much 95% of the individual clients did not have an accounting tool. And only less than 2% had some kind of Excel spreadsheet. The vast majority was still manual. And as you know from accounting practice, many of these individual clients have the same bank account and they do business and personal in the same bank account. So it becomes even more messier without no accounting tool, with one bank account and no awareness on or tax preparation. It becomes even more harder for the accountant to serve his customers. So what we have done is build a platform that you can basically have your own accounting software along with the practice management system that takes care of everything. Digital verification, codes, invoices, payments, contracts. It's available both on web and mobile. It's custom branded, so you can brand yours, put your own logo. If you're like Tidy Tax, you put Tidy Tax on it and resell it as Tidy Tax. You can have all of that services embedded right in there. Now, we did this because our philosophy of this product was, if we want to enable accountants to disrupt and be more competitive, for example, against Henry, and not lose clients to those competition, we need to equip the accounting practices with the technology that they can use it for themselves. But we didn't want to build just an automation software. We want to build a toolkit that has both ends. I know there are tools like Ignitions and Dext and other high-powered tools where accountants use, and those are tailored towards accounting practices to serve small, medium, large enterprises with multi-entity and things like that. Our focus is helping accountants who focus on the individual cohort. What I want to do and what I did for James was, hey, James, use this tool so that you don't have to worry about that 500 odd individual customers anymore. You save time and make more money in that cohort and spend that time on the bigger cohort, which is your small and medium businesses, where you get more bigger tickets, customers, better margins, and more predictable revenue. So the shift in scaling business is not letting go of one cohort. It's about automating one cohort that are low ticket customers, less tax complexity, pretty straightforward, and then using your time on scaled activity like advisory, more financial accounting and things like that. All right, so quick demo on what our system does. And with that, we will wrap the session because I am mindful of the time, and you've done a great job of sticking along and keeping. If you've got any questions, please start putting them in the chat while I quickly show you a demo of the system. There you go. So the system has two parts. The screen that you're currently looking at is the screen for your users. Now, this accounting company that we have helped recently is called Total. It's a South Australian based fast growing accounting firm. They currently resell this and use our technology to serve roughly around 3,500 of their clients. And essentially, their clients get a tool, a web and mobile tool, where they can automatically go and review their income, expenses, assets, and home office expense. Our AI algorithm automatically looks at their transaction and finds out potential deductions if they have any. And all they have to say is, yes, I made that for a self-employed expense. It's home office, and I know the percentage is 100. And then you can say yes. And that's all the user needs to do, because the algorithm picks almost 90% of the expenses that they go through their self-employed work. They also get to tag their income, and this particular account is a test account, so it didn't have an income, but it can say, yes, it is an income, and I got this as an actor or a childcare or an additional income like a casual employment, and then hit save. The system is designed to be so simple and straightforward for individuals who don't necessarily understand Zero, for them to do simple income expense tagging along with an automated AI assistant. When everything is ready, when they go to GST, it's pretty much ready for review. So I go into the new quarter. So the new quarter may be here. And they can see the GST summary and pretty much lodge it right from the application. And on the other end, as an accountant, they can see all of their clients and see if there's any clients that are up for review, and they can review that lodgement and be able to edit it, do more like a super user. And then after looking at all the expense incomes, they're able to then download the lodgement file and take it to their own softwares, whether it's Zero Tax or lodge it and then do the lodgement, or directly to the ATO and then lodge it from there. What it also does, it gives them ID verification. It's done inside the system. They can chat with the user, or they can send codes and invoices to the user before and after, so that the user gets their codes here. Track accountant codes, they can get the codes, then accept the codes, invoices, and all of that stuff. For the user end, as you can see, it's designed to be a simple accounting tool to handle very simple accounting practices such as codes, invoices, income expense tracking, asset tracking. They can also look at connecting different bank accounts, generate reports like profit loss statements, past statements, and then have a Dropbox kind of functionality to put their receipts in. And as an accountant, you on the other end have controls over their workspace, their bank statements, their lodgement status, and you are able to best help them. All of the other bells and whistles around automated follow-up is done automatically, ID verification is done automatically, engagement letters are signed automatically through just an interface between both of them. Happy to show you more about this and give you a bit more detailed walkthrough. I didn't want to turn this into a full-blown demo of our solution, but using our solution, we tend to help the accounting firm to significantly reduce their time that they spend on servicing individual clients. So that's about it. So if you are keen in knowing more about AI and automation, please write to us at hello@mygeeksters.com.au, which you will see in the chat pod right now. And if you got any questions, please ask your questions and I'm happy to answer them. The recording of this webinar will be shared and it'll also be hosted on YouTube and different channels, so you can also watch it live. If there's any questions, please let us know. And if you are interested to, see more of the demo, and if you like to see what our app actually does and how it can help you, or how you can resell it, or how you can embed it in your own practice, you will see a link in the chat where you can basically share your interest, and then one of my team members will connect with you and then help you go through the system. Any questions from anyone that would like to have answered? If yes, please let me know. Do you store data in Australia? Yes, the data is stored in Australia. The data infrastructure is placed in AWS within Australian context, and also the application is geo-fenced. So it's only fenced for users within Australia. So if other users are from UK or like, I don't know, Pakistan or India or somewhere, they can't use the application unless they come through a secured network. How does ID verification work? MyGigsters is licensed to do document verification service via a third party. So it's built in within the system. All they need to do is provide the license number and the state of issue, or give their passport number or Vivo check number. It'll automatically do the ID verification within the system itself. Basically, a green tick after they submit the details. ATO approved Wendy for ID for ID check. Enter ID for ID check. Didn't quite get that questions. Our client ID, yes. We currently don't connect with the ATO at the moment. We have got a roadmap where in the next few weeks or next month or two, we will have an integration with an SPR, STP software, sorry, not STP, SPR software, where we will be able to verify the client's information through pull-in data. Oh, yeah, feel free to unmute. Yes. I will pause this recording if I want, but feel free to unmute and ask the questions. Is my bank account credential safe? Yes, so we use open banking. MyGigsters is licensed under the CDR, which is Customer Data Rights Protection from the government, and we've got the license to help connect through open banking to basically extract the information. So it's a much more legitimate, more secure way of handling transaction information. The key is MyGigsters will never know your account details. Your bank will never share that to us. And we will not have access to the money in the account. We will only be able to scan basically collect transaction description. All right. Any last questions? Cool. If all good, thank you so much for attending. If you missed this webinar, obviously you will get it as a recording. But once again, thank you for your time. You have a lovely Thursday, and hope to see you on another webinar very shortly. Until then, this is Benjamin, and bye-bye from MyGigsters.